Good afternoon. My name is Nicole LaChapelle, and I'm the mayor of Easthampton. Today we're at Millside Park in Easthampton with the director of Park and Rec, John Mason, to talk a little bit about not just this park, but the wonderful parks we have throughout our great city. Welcome, John.
Why, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I was joking with the cameramen before we started that this episode should really be entitled Park and Rec Mythbusters. So I'm going to just ask John a couple of questions about how the parks run and what he actually oversees. So John, what do Park and Rec, how many parks are there in Easthampton? What does it look like?
So we have a lot of parks in Easthampton. We have our main park, Nonotuck, which has, our community pool, the 4 pavilions, the ball fields, things like that. But then we have Millside here, which was added about 10 years ago with the band shell and the bathrooms and the basketball court and everything that's involved here, which is really heightened the usage for people in groups throughout the city. Then we have some other pocket parks throughout the city, Plain and Strong, the Green up here, Pleasant Green. We have some more others throughout the city as well, just smaller ones that we take care of as well. But Nonotuck Park is definitely, our main, especially during the summer months,
Sure.
From the middle of April to the end of October. There's all the youth sports are there, high school sports are there, so it's ball fields and usage for pavilions and picnic sites and the pool and things like that. So it's kind of crazy this time of year. We're kind of easing through towards the end of the year, but it's fun. It's really to see how many people come through the city and our parks and here for movie nights and concerts and things like that. It's pretty amazing how many people come to Easthampton for our parks.
Yeah.
Because we keep track of how many folks where they're from for picnic sites and pavilion rentals and teams that come in here, and it's amazing how many folks outside of Easthampton that come and they talk about how wonderful our facilities are here, which is a credit to everybody in town and the city council, CPA, and state money that we've received through the years to update and to have the type of facilities we have.
All right, so let's get into some myth-busting questions.
Yes.
All right. Is the Promenade on the pond a city park?
Yes, that is. That's under our jurisdiction. When that grant was going through, it had to be placed into. We had a little accident there on the bike. So we have all our kids enjoying the park through.
Yes.
He's rallying through it though, folks. He'll be all right.
There we go.
So that's a park grant, and so basically the triangle of where the boardwalk is park responsibility.
So if you were going to have an event or a gathering on the promenade, do you need a park permit?
Yes. So we have park usage forms for anything that requires usage, whether it's electricity or just a gathering, because we do have restrictions about the number of people that can gather on the plaza itself. There's safety concerns there, being so close to the intersection. There's handicap accessibility issues. That's where the ramps are. So we try not to have too many people gather there. There is a limit about the number of people that can be there. Plus, it's important for folks to let us know when they're using the facilities, where there's going to be gathering spots. We have a security team that works from mid-April to the end of October, and they patrol that area as well as they patrol here in our cemeteries. So there's a lot of logistical things of why we need to know when people are there.
So that was one of my questions. My next questions, the cemeteries.
Yes.
Under Park and Rec purview?
Yes. So we have East Street Cemetery and Brookside on Wilson Ave. So East Street is more of a historical one, very few burials there, but we are responsible for mowing and taking care of that.
Yep.
And then Brookside is our main one that has a lot of activity. We just opened up a new section, so if anybody's looking for, that's a resident that's looking for lots that don't currently have one in town, we do have a new section open for grave sales as well.
So we're going to end with one of the most controversial questions concerning Park and Rec, the bathrooms.
Yes.
So get a lot of requests in the mayor's office that folks would really like to see those bathrooms open mid-March. And I say, one, refer them to Park and Rec and say we have concerns about the weather.
Yes.
What's the real answer?
So the park doesn't officially open for rentals until the first weekend in May. We sort of open because the high school teams come in for practice for softball and baseball. So we have them get a porta potty just to offset. But outdoor plumbing does not work well with the temperature fluctuations that we can have, especially in March into April. It was funny this year we had a request about trying to get an event in the middle of April. And, I said, there's no bathrooms available. And then like 3 days later, it was, 28 degrees overnight. So once you charge up the water and get the bathrooms ready, there's no turning back. You can't keep, de-winterizing them and winterizing them and going back and forth. There's too much time and effort. A few years ago, probably 6 or 7 years ago, we tried to jump it a little bit early, and it cost us thousands of dollars in plumbing repairs. It was actually at this facility here. So it's too risky. So we've, the last 6 or 7 years decided to hold tight on that, because by May, it's 99.9% chance that we're not going to have any more weather issues. So it's definitely a weather concerns on that, and that's why we, like I said, we have folks, if they want to come in to the park earlier for high school sports and youth sports, just to bring a porta potty in, because there's still facilities there. That way they can use them, and we call that our soft opening, where we have limited gate hours. We also don't have security doesn't start until the middle of April as well. So we have some budgetary restrictions on that as well. We don't have a year-round security staff to man these types of facilities. So.
Fair to say during the park season, staff increases a quarter. You're bringing on seasonal workers. How many people are you adding during peak season?
So during peak season, we're adding probably, 60 employees come on staff. And like day like today, end of August, it's really warm. We get calls, pool's not open, and that's another thing. It's like, well, why can't you just have the pool open? It's 9 degrees. And we have high school kids and college kids who are majority of our lifeguards, and they go back to school and they go back to college and things like that. So we set a time, beginning of the year, 10 days before July 1st, June 20th in that area. And we go to the last full weekend in August, and it's that's what our season is. And unfortunately, sometimes it seems like every time when the kids go back to school, it really hammers with a hot week. So, and that's what we're dealing with. But we keep our spray park open. We're one of. I was actually looking at this yesterday because 22 News had a thing of where you can go to cool off. And our Easthampton spray park is one of the latest ones that's open.
It's great. It's a lot of fun.
Most close around September 1st, and we keep it open middle of September, even later into September, for a nice cooling spot, just in case you have days like this, because there's September is still nice, and it's not a problem for us to keep it open and run it. So
I think one of the big reasons why I wanted to have you on is, one, we're in mid-season, kind of winding down into the fall, and also there's a budget around Park and Rec, and also Parks Board that you work with, and I would encourage people to go to those park meetings. They're public meetings. Happen at 50 Payson?
No, we have them in our office.
Okay.
Right in the park office.
In Nonotuck?
Yep, third Wednesday of the month at 6:30.
So I'd encourage people to check those meetings out to understand why things are possible or really challenging for the Parks Department, and also just to bring John on and say thank you for a wonderful series of park and all the works that you do.
Yeah, we love, we wouldn't do what we do if we didn't love it. The staff is great, the maintenance staff, the office staff, everybody really enjoys working to better the parks and provide programming. We have our Harvest Fest coming up on October 13th. That's a Saturday from 12 to 5. It's a free event, free to get into the park. There's inflatables, there's games for the kids, there's food trucks.
Pumpkin contest?
Pumpkin carving contest, the horse buggy ride through the park, which is free. So we have that, and then we have the Rag Shag on Wednesday, October 24th. Yeah, if we do the Rag Shag too.
I did not know that.
October 24th
Another miss.
at 6:30 on a Wednesday night. So, and that's, we get over 1,000 kids who participate in that, and we have a lot of volunteers that bag candy that day. The police department, fire department, the CERT team. There's so many folks that help out to make that an event that has been going on for 30 plus years now, and it's a great tradition for the city, and the businesses that donate to that is huge as well. They give us donations to buy the candy, and they also give us donation for our Arts in the Parks programs too. So the business support in the community has been great, and they've been very supportive of us as well.
All right, so this is really the last question. What's the one thing next budget year you would love to have if there were just no constraints, like whatever you want? What would it be?
Just one?
Just one.
A new mower for the park? Or a new pool for the community?
All right.
One. I gotta have two.
Okay, all right.
Even though the pool did very well this year, it is old, and the guys work hard to keep it up and going.
That is a massive pool.
It is a massive pool, and it's 60 plus years old.
All right, let's get it on the list.
All right.
Thank you very much. Have a great weekend,
Thank you,
and
folks.
come visit the parks. Take care.